Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it's the World Championship winning press conference. On the right, of course, Koichi Tsugi, the General Manager of Motorsports Development Division, Yamaha Motors, and to the left, Lynn Jarvis, the Managing Director of Yamaha Motor Racing. They knew they were coming. It was the man in the middle. We weren't sure who was going to be here. It has turned out to be Jorge Lorenzo. Congratulations, Jorge, 2015 World Champion, and what a season of ups and downs, and what a final race.
Yeah, I think couldn't be so much drama in the last weeks, in the last races. In the last race, couldn't be so much emotional or difficult to reach for both of riders. And finally, in the 17 races, I could not be leading the championship by some points. Just I could equal Valentino in some races. And finally, in the last moment, I could, in the last race, win this third World Championship MotoGP, fifth in my career. So just super emotional, super happy, super proud, and I just want to enjoy with my team, with the people who make this possible to happen, with Yamaha, Suya-san, Suji-san, Lynn Jarvis, all the team. They make a great year. We won everything possible, and especially we made probably the best bike in 2015. So very proud to be part of this team.
Difficult start to the season. I think we'd have spoken to you after the first three races and said you're going to be world champion. You'd say, I'm not so sure about that.
No, especially the first three races. That has been a nightmare because we have the potential, but for some reasons never reached the podium. No, in Qatar for the problem with the helmet. In Austin I wasn't perfect, and in Argentina we had so much problems with the tires. So never on the podium, 29 points of disadvantage. But then finally, suddenly in Jerez, we find a good feeling, a good bike, and we won 4 races in a row. But then stay on the podium sometimes, some races, then start some bad periods of the championship or some periods that I was able to be very competitive on the practice, but finally for some reasons also on the race, especially for the rain and for the crash in Misano, I couldn't reach the best result. I lose a lot of points again. And then finally, luckily, we could recover all the points in the last 3 or 4 races, no? So, yeah, as I told you, so much drama, but finally the championship is in our hands, so we must be very proud, and I'm very happy about that.
5th world title, the toughest of them all, going down probably the last 2 laps really of the championship, wasn't it?
Very hard championship in general, and probably one of the the hardest race in all my life, because a lot of pressure on the grid, a lot of pressure on the start, a lot of tension on the bike, and supporting the pressure has been very hard. Very long race. Marquez at the beginning, half a second, 6/10 behind, then recover a little bit at the end of the race. Danny recovered so much in the last lap, so I knew the Honda here were very strong, and my rear tire was in quite bad conditions at the end of the race. So trying to stay on the bike, giving the maximum in these conditions has been very hard. But I did it, and the effort was worth it. So now I can say I'm, I don't know in English, but in Spanish, pentacampeón del mundo. Well, I wanted to say in another way. So 5-time world champion. And the most important thing, I knew this championship was very important, because for me, Valentino, who is older than me, Casey, that have more or less the same age than me, and Mark, who is younger, for me they are the 3 hardest rivals that I never ride. But in general, for me, in my opinion, in the 21st century they've been the best riders, no? So being able to be 10 years for me was my goal, and I feel very proud of it, because if Valentino was the champion, he could say that. Marquez cannot say that because Casey is retired already, so it was very important for me to win.
Thank you. We will have some questions in a minute. Come on to Lynn Jarvis. Well, great season for Yamaha, but a difficult last couple of weeks. I think that probably sums it up, Lynn, doesn't it?
Yeah, in general, obviously it's been an awesome year for us. Having won in total, we won 11 races this year, and leading the championship basically from the beginning until the end. So obviously with Valentino leading from the very first race, and at a certain moment, mid-season, then Jorge equaled Vale on points, but he had 4 wins, so he took over for a single race, and then all the way down to the wire, we stayed in front. It's been a fabulous year to do that as well in our 60th anniversary. I know that Tsuji said yesterday that he got an order from the boss in Japan that it's our 60th anniversary, you must win the Triple Crown. So for us, of course, it's pretty rewarding to finally get there. Last 10 days have been a little bit tough. It's never easy to manage any champion, any single champion, and it's even more difficult to manage two. So you know, it's been hard. But anyway, we've managed. We're very happy to be here, and I congratulate Jorge on achieving his 3rd MotoGP championship with us.
San, you produced an amazing motorcycle, didn't you? Jorge was just singing its praise. It's a motorcycle for both Valentino and Jorge that has just brought you success in all the championships.
Yeah, to be honest, it is very happy for us, not only the Yamaha, also the all around the world motorsport fans. It was a great season, and especially for we show to the world and how the motorsports, especially MotoGP, how is a great race and how is a great event to the world. And finally, I'm very happy to have a champion with Jorge. And at the same time, you know, we try to, you know, the both of a very great rider in the same garage, and we try to treat maximum to same conditions. And you know, we did that. And we are very proud of we are very proud to have a champion, and thank you for Jorge. Also, I want to very thank you for the Bridgestone and to support MotoGP. And as I said, even our two riders to treat equal, very difficult, and we effort, but they treat every riders to treat equally. How they effort. And again, I want to thank you for the Bridgestone to have a great job.
Thank you very much. So enough from me, ladies and gentlemen. We'll start the questions in English, if we may, and then come on to the Spanish. So do you want to ask in English? Yeah, you don't. Okay, we'll wait for the Spanish. So any English questions? Thank you.
Jorge, personally, I think that you deserved very much the championship because you've been fighting hard, and there's nothing to say about it. But
thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You know, I think it.
But
in the last few days, there's been a lot of comments about Mark's behavior, and even today, there might be some clouds over his behavior. Do you think that this is taking away a little bit of the merit of what you've been achieving on the track? Or?
I think the people who really knows about motorbikes understand my value as a rider, as a champion, and they will be happy with my achievement, no? But obviously, the people who support another rider, in this case Valentino, they will never be happy about this championship. But you know, a champion is a champion, and a champion who have my statistics this year deserve in my opinion, deserve the championship.
Jorge, here. First of all, congratulations for you. And in 2010, when you clinched the title for the first time,
yeah.
you're leading hugely in championship points.
Yeah.
And in 2012, the gap was a little bit tighter, but you leading all the way. So, but this year you had to chase up all the year. So what was the difficulty for you, especially in terms of your mentality?
Difficult for some reasons, no, for a couple of reasons, and the first one was not to get disappointed or go down in the moments that I believe that we got not the best circumstances to get the best results, like in Qatar, for example, where we've been able to fight for the win, but finally for a reason we could not in the first other 2 races. In the 3 races in a row that it rains just on the Sunday, when I have the best, one of the best plays to fight for the win or get second place, was very difficult to keep believing and don't get frustrated, and especially knowing the capacity of Valentino to get cold and don't make mistakes and keep being always on the podium, knowing that if we wanted to be champion, knowing that we have to recover so many points has not been easy, no? And but finally I did it. Finally I still believe all the days, all the weeks, all the months that I could be world champion. Finally everything was perfect. The bike was going perfect from Friday to Sunday in most of the races. So I want to thank not only Yamaha but also my team, the people who work with me, especially Ramon and Davide, who every year, every month we are more compenetrate, but also the guys who work always on so many hours every day on the bike. And finally we did it, no? Finally we are champion. We deserve clearly the world champion, and that's it. That's the most important thing, so we are going to celebrate it proud and at our best.
Jorge, today, just in the last 10 laps, I was wondering, before the recovery of Dani Pedrosa on markets, with all this pressure of Mark putting on your riding, and maybe the risk also to crash, once knowing that Rossi was fourth and far away, did you ever thought about the option
I didn't know it clearly because I couldn't see the board. The board was... We've been very fast on the straight and was very difficult. But I imagine he was not going to crash because he's very cold. It's very difficult for him to crash. And I imagine he was in fourth. So I knew from the board that Mark and Dani were behind me, and I have so many problems on the rear and on the right side. But I guess also they have, for the opposite, some problems on the front. So finally, it was probably quite equal. The problems to keep a pace of 32 low for the 3 riders. So it was very important not to get relaxed or not to be too careful. So push in these difficult conditions, because I knew if I wasn't pushing, Mark or Dani, sooner or later they wanted to try, you know.
But did you have ever the option in your mind maybe to surrender to Mark and to control him being second, or was it too risky, or you just decided to go further in first?
The best strategy for my mind was to keep as much as possible first and concentrate on riding till the end. As I told you before, I didn't know that I was in the last lap, so I keep pushing still a lot at my best, moving so much the bike. But in this moment, I believe was still 3 or 4 laps more, because I couldn't see the laps in the board or in the circuit dashboard. So when I see the checkered flag, I was super happy because I knew was mine. No?
A question to Suji-san. Do you agree the behavior of Valentino from Australia until this race? The behavior, the reactions, the wars.
You know, I think it was a great race. You know, in the lots of battles, and I respect that race, and you know, it's not the one of the great race. I think that's my opinion.
Oh, hey, your mental control this weekend was perfect, and in about 2008 2009, I remember you telling me that you were studying something called sophrology to help sophrology
Yes.
to help you calm your mind. Are you still studying that?
Yeah. In 2009, my ex-manager knew some girl that was working in this matter in the sophrology that is more or less a meditation, a kind of meditation that you do with the breath and with your stomach. And in this year I made some classes, so I understood more or less how you can control yourself by the breath. And after in 2010 I stopped these classes, but I keep, when I was feeling nervous, I keep doing this. And today especially I have to do it so much because the tension, of course, and the pressure was very high. So it was very important not to save as much as possible of the energy. And when you are nervous, you are throwing away a lot of energy. So yeah, today I meditate so much and breathe very deeply.
Hi, good afternoon, congratulations. Tommy from Sport 5 Israel. I saw an interview with your father and he said that one of the methods that he taught you was by Israeli combat. I wanted to know if you knew about that, and if so, what did it help you
My
with?
father told
He
told
said
you?
in Hitting the Apex that the method that he taught you, that he trained you when you were younger, was influenced by Israeli combat.
Really?
Yeah. Did you know that?
He never told me. But
Watch Hitting the Apex, he says, is there. So apparently he did.
yeah, I did also Krav Maga in 2010, I think, because again my ex-manager believed that I needed to be more aggressive on the track. So to practice this outside the track, probably, in his opinion, can make me a little bit more aggressive in the overtakings on the track, and also this can help me in case of some people, you never know, can try to hit you or something. But yes, it's important on life. It's important to try to know something about everything, no? And everything gives you something that improves you. So I remember very well these years of this year of practicing this sport.
And a question for Lynn, how difficult it is to run a team, so many people, so many personalities, some wish for one rider, some for the others, to keep it even, to keep quiet, to keep calm, friendly?
Well, I think one thing that helps is I'm not either Italian or Spanish. So, you know, and that's said as a joke, but it's also not a joke, because if you are able to be neutral, remain neutral, it's very, very important, because, you know, there's a lot of, shall we say, nationalistic influence can come, because, you know, if you're Spanish, then you should support the Spaniard, the Italian, you should support the Italian, perhaps. That's definitely a help. Also, I have a lot of experience in this game. I've had many positive and some negative experience over the years as well. So this is stuff that you learn, and it comes on board, and it helps you also stay calm in situations which are perhaps very, very stressful. I don't have medication, but I really like gin and tonic. So that's something that also helps a lot at the end of the day. And no, it's a matter of you know, being true to yourself, and also just not panicking and trying to find solutions. And you know, the solution for each person in a problem is different as well. It's very important to search for their solutions.
Jorge, what has been your biggest mistake this year? And second question, how do you see next year? How do you see your cohabitation with Valentino after all what happened and what he told to you and you told to him?
I think my clearly mistake, or the biggest mistake this year, has been the Misano race. The Misano race, because I did two mistakes, no? The first one was not to not to act like my team tried to tell me from the board that was going in 4 or 5 times, but I didn't enter the pits. And then the second one was to not get the patient to warm up in a right way the tires. No, I was a little bit nervous when Reading overtook me, and I wanted to go as fast as possible when the tire was not ready and the condition of the track was very delicate. So if I could finish this race, I just needed to finish this corner and maybe the next one to warm up the tires. If I could finish the race, I could arrive probably to Valencia with advantage in the championship, and I could be more quiet. But I crashed, and luckily this crash didn't affect the result of the championship, but it could. So, as I told you, there couldn't be more drama in this race to decide the result of the championship.
Yes, I have.
For next year, I tell everyone who asks me. I think I say on Thursday. I feel protect and support by Yamaha always. From when I arrived with 20 years old in 2008, always I have a good bike, all the same material, even when Valentino was you know, the main rider in Yamaha in the first years, and I always have the best bike they could offer me. Obviously, in every, as I told you before in Thursday, every marriage have his moments of disagreement or different views, different versions, but I think my goal, my dream, the thing that I want is to retire in Yamaha without changing team. Now I'm reaching my objective, that is to be a Yamaha legend with this third world title, and this is my goal. I cannot guarantee you that it's gonna happen, but for sure I'm gonna put my ¿cómo se dice? Mi voluntad, my will, my desire, my effort for this to happen. We'll see in the future.
Yes, I have a question for Tsushi-san. Tsushi-san, do you agree with Valentino when he quotes that Marquez has not raced today in a fair way?
To be honest, you know, on watching TV, and I don't think so. And to be honest, and from a technical point of view, then I am just amazing that you know our bike lot of better acceleration. Was it?
I don't know. I didn't see the
okay. So. But on the TV is.
You will see.
Yeah, and very good acceleration. And but again, the race is. I just respect this race, and it was very great race. And I know the first rider very the very close races and maybe very tough, but finally he had a good result and was good.
Jorge, wouldn't you have preferred to win the championship without all that happened during the last few weeks?
No.
Wasn't it a pity for motorcycle racing as well and for you?
No, of course I would prefer that, especially these polemics of the press and trying to invite, make some inventions in the news that was not, of course true, and try to always every day try to find something that was not true, especially this, and what happened with Marco and Valentino in this corner in Sepang was better to avoid. But for sure, these things cannot shadow my performance, my level of riding of this year, and for sure this will not affect my proudness of this World Championship.
Yeah, just to clear the air, I'm Italian, but I don't fan for anybody. And but I think that Jorge deserves in the track, in the classification. I think that after the race, nobody could say that Mark and Danny not to make the best to try to pass Jorge. But the question is for Lynn. But after the race, Jorge said, probably Mark and Danny, because are Spanish, don't try to pass me. What do you think after Sepang and after that?
Well, I didn't hear that when Jorge said that. You know, you stated that. I was here in the press conference waiting for everybody to arrive. So really, I think enough is enough about talking about the polemics, about what happened or who did what. I think today is a moment where we have to, you know, we're here to talk about his championship, to talk about Yamaha's championship. So I'd rather that we can avoid the ongoing polemics that we've had over the weeks and just focus on the sport. I'd like to state that I think Valentino did a fabulous season as well. I think to lose the championship finally by only 5 points on this day must be very tough for him, must be very difficult, because he's been leading it since the beginning. So, you know, we are very, very satisfied, happy, and I want to give our congratulations to both of our riders, to Jorge and Valentino. Unfortunately, you know, we knew at the end of the day only one of them is going to win. So this is another problem of when you have two great riders in a team. Even when you win everything, somebody's unhappy. And it was going to go one way or the other, and it went the way that it did for all of the reasons. But you can't turn back the clock. You have to focus only on the future, and that's it, really.
But still, Lynn, do you have any suspicions of Mark's behavior today or whatever? Or no, I can ask. Sorry. Or for you, everything is sorted.
I listened to the explanations of Mark and Danny and Jorge, and so I have to take their explanations as at face value. So I have no personal judgment. I watched the race. I came here, so I haven't had time to look or to analyze or to think about it. I listened to what they said, and I have no reason to go against that.
A question for all of you. Sometimes we are used to say that the championship is the most harder to win, and is not the most harder to win, but to keep it. So, do you think it was true to this year, and what do you expect for the next season?
Well, I expect lot of fight. Yamaha, Honda, Ducati. To be able to bring the riders the best bike, and for sure MotoGP is the best championship about the motorbikes, about level of riding of riders, and it's always very difficult to repeat and to be champion again. The last 2 years I couldn't do it, so it's always very, very complicated. So that's why I want to enjoy at my best, at maximum, with my team and with my family, with my friends, this World Championship, because I don't know if I can, in the future, I can repeat it. Of course, for sure, having rivals like Marc, who is very, very young still and very ambitious, very fast, very aggressive, is not easy. So we've been lucky this year that he crashed many times, because for sure, without these crashes, for sure, he will fight with us to win the world title, and then he's recovering so much the speed and the ambitious that he have in the past. So for sure it's going to be difficult. Ducati is improving a lot, so I believe in Yamaha that they are some way somehow they will find some way to make the bike better in the future.
As you know, from next year, then the MotoGP machine or the regulation is big change, tire change and common software, and you know we made a great result this year, but you know we are start for next year from Tuesday, and for sure that we try to make a best bike to keep the championship. on the top. Just we try and how we'll see from the Tuesday test.
Sorry. What 2016 will bring? Well, I think the level of competition is really, really intense, and I think that one of the things this year, you know, you've got to get everything aligned really to have the sort of success that we had this year. And one of the things that impressed me this year from both of the riders was the way that they approached the season. Obviously, you know, Mark hammered us in the beginning of last year, and that caused a reaction both on the technical side with our engineers developing a lot of new solutions, but our riders understanding that to win this year against Mark in particular, they had to be very focused, very trained, very, you know, very dedicated. And I think that's what we've seen as well from both of our riders, the way that they started this season on a mission. And it's going to be exactly the same next year, and it's going to be very, very difficult and intense competition. But I'm optimistic and confident. If we've done it now, in the past when we had Valentino and Jorge together, we won 3 Triple Crowns in a row. Not easy, but anyway, we managed to do that. We know that we have the best team in the world. We have the best engineers in the world. So we'll do our very, very best to do it next year. And I think why not? Let's try.
Lynn again. I know your huge experience, but in Malaysia after Sepang race, Jorge said he lost the respect for Valentino, and today Valentino said tougher words against Jorge. So how can you manage the situation? You and Yamaha, of course. Can you manage the situation next year into the box?
You will see.
Okay, last one in English, then
okay.
Spanish.
Congratulations. Do you feel that you have to race against all the world, not just against the other riders? All the support, the fans, many people. What do you think? Do you have this feeling or not?
No, and then every person in the world or every rider is fighting against the world. No, it's the same for me or Marquez or Mark or Dani or Valentino. Just Valentino for his career and his personality and all that he won. He got more quantity of fans than us, but and these fans, they make a lot of noise because they are a lot, and they want to support in a different way his rider. But you know, anything to be worried about that. No, the moment that I stay good with my people and there is no risk to get injured, everything is good. So doesn't. Yeah, I hear the people who is making noise, but for me it doesn't change so much my life, my happiness, my work. No.
Okay, that's questions in English, ladies and gentlemen, and so here we are. We're going to have a Spanish gentleman to take over with Ignacy. So thank you, Ignacy.
En español.